Have you ever felt like the odds were stacked against you? Like no matter how hard you tried, success seemed just out of reach? This is the story of Sarah, a single mother who defied all expectations and shocked everyone at her son's graduation. But before we dive into her incredible journey, let me ask you this. What would you do if you had nothing left to lose? Sarah's story begins in a rundown apartment on the outskirts of town. With barely enough money to keep the lights on and food on the table, she struggled to provide for her young son, Michael. Every day was a battle against poverty, judgment, and self-doubt. But Sarah had a fire within her that refused to be extinguished. As we follow Sarah's journey, you'll discover the unexpected turn of events that changed everything. But here's the thing. There's a crucial detail about Sarah's past that I'm holding back. This missing piece of the puzzle will blow your mind when it's finally revealed. So make sure you stick around until the end to uncover the truth. Before we continue, I want to remind you that True Spark is dedicated to bringing you stories that inspire and motivate. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to join our community of dreamers and achievers. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's return to Sarah's story. As she tucked Michael into bed one night, she made a promise that would set in motion a series of events no one could have predicted. What was this promise? And how did it lead to the shocking moment at Michael's graduation? Stay tuned to find out. Sarah's days began long before the sun rose. She'd quietly slip out of the apartment, careful not to wake Michael, and make her way to her first job as a cleaner at a local office building. The harsh smell of cleaning products had become a familiar comfort, a reminder that she was doing everything in her power to provide for her son. As she scrubbed floors and emptied trash cans, Sarah's mind would wander to her dreams she had long ago packed away. She'd once aspired to be a teacher, to shape young minds and make a difference. But life had other plans, and here she was, a high school dropout struggling to make ends meet. After her morning shift, Sarah would rush home to get Michael ready for school. Their mornings were a whirlwind of activity, making breakfast, packing lunches, and ensuring Michael had everything he needed for the day. As she watched him board the school bus, Sarah felt a pang of guilt. She wanted so much more for her son. With Michael at school, Sarah headed to her second job as a waitress at a local diner. The hours were long and the work was exhausting, but Sarah never complained. Every tip, every extra shift, brought her one step closer to providing a better life for Michael. It was during one of her shifts at the diner that Sarah overheard a conversation that would change everything. Two customers were discussing a free adult education program at the local community center. Sarah's heart raced. Could this be her chance to finish her education? That night, after tucking Michael into bed, Sarah sat at their small kitchen table, staring at a flyer for the adult education program. The thought of going back to school terrified her. What if she failed? What if she couldn't balance work, parenting, and studying? But then she remembered the promise she'd made to Michael, to never give up no matter how hard things got. With trembling hands, Sarah dialed the number on the flyer. As she spoke with the program coordinator, she felt a glimmer of hope spark within her. This was her chance to rewrite her story, to show Michael that it's never too late to chase your dreams. The next few months were a blur of activity. Sarah juggled her jobs, cared for Michael, and attended night classes. But every time she looked at Michael's smiling face, she found the strength to keep pushing forward. As Sarah progressed in her studies, she began to rediscover her passion for learning. The more she learned, the more confident she became. She started to see possibilities where before there had only been obstacles. Michael noticed the change in his mother. He saw the light in her eyes when she talked about her classes, the determination in her voice when she stayed up late studying. Without realizing it, Sarah was teaching Michael the most important lesson of all, the power of perseverance. But life had a way of testing Sarah's resolve. Just as she was finding her rhythm, disaster struck. The loss of income was a devastating blow, threatening to derail all of her hard-earned progress. For a moment, Sarah considered giving up on her education to find another job. But then she remembered the promise she'd made to Michael, and to herself. She wouldn't let this setback defeat her. Instead, she saw it as an opportunity to fully commit to her studies. Sarah approached her boss at the diner, explaining her situation and asking for more shifts. Her dedication and work ethic had not gone unnoticed, and her boss was more than willing to accommodate her. It meant longer hours and less time with Michael, but Sarah knew it was a necessary sacrifice. As Sarah continued to excel in her studies, one of her teachers took notice. Miss Johnson saw in Sarah the same passion for learning that she herself possessed. She began to mentor Sarah, offering guidance and encouragement that went beyond the classroom. With Miss Johnson's support, Sarah started to believe in herself in a way she never had before. She began to dream bigger, to see a future beyond the struggle of day-to-day survival. But there was still a long road ahead, and Sarah knew the hardest challenges were yet to come. As Sarah progressed through the adult education program, she set her sights on a seemingly impossible goal, to not only finish high school but to go to college. The idea seemed laughable at first. How could a single mother working 2 jobs possibly afford college? But Sarah refused to let fear hold her back. She spent countless nights researching scholarships and financial aid options. She wrote essays, filled out applications, and dared to hope for a future she once thought was out of reach. All the while, Michael watched his mother with awe and admiration. He saw her determination, her refusal to give up even when things seemed impossible. Without realizing it, Sarah was instilling in her son the values that would shape his own future. As Sarah's graduation from the adult education program approached, she received news that would change everything. She had been accepted to the local state university with a full scholarship. The impossible dream was becoming a reality. The day of Sarah's graduation was one of mixed emotions. As she stood in her cap and gown, diploma in hand, she felt an overwhelming sense of pride and accomplishment. But there was also fear. How would she balance college, work, and raising Michael? It was in this moment of doubt that Sarah remembered the crucial detail from her past, the one I've been holding back. But we're not quite ready to reveal that yet. Trust me, when you learn this information, it will cast everything you've heard so far in a new light. As Sarah embarked on her college journey, she faced new challenges. The coursework was demanding, and balancing her studies with her responsibilities as a mother and her job at the diner pushed her to her limits. There were nights when she wanted to give up, when the weight of it all seemed too much to bear. But Sarah had come too far to turn back now. She found strength in the proud look in Michael's eyes when she helped him with his homework, in the encouraging words of Miss Johnson, who continued to mentor her, and in the supportive community she had built at the diner and the university. Years passed, and Sarah's determination never wavered. She excelled in her studies, earning top grades and the respect of her professors and peers. All the while she continued to work at the diner, using every spare moment to study or spend time with Michael. As Sarah's college graduation approached, she reflected on the journey that had brought her to this point. From a struggling single mother to a soon-to-be college graduate, she had defied all expectations, including her own. But Sarah's story doesn't end with her college graduation. Remember, we started this tale at Michael's graduation, so what happened in the years between? How did Sarah's journey impact Michael's life? Michael, inspired by his mother's perseverance, had become an exceptional student himself. He worked hard in school, determined to make his mother proud and to create his own path to success. As he approached his high school graduation, he was at the top of his class. The day of Michael's graduation arrived, and Sarah couldn't have been prouder. As she sat in the audience, watching her son walk across the stage, she reflected on their journey together. They had come so far from those difficult early years. But there was one more surprise in store, one that would shock everyone at the ceremony. Remember that crucial detail I mentioned earlier? Well, it's almost time to reveal it. This piece of information will tie everything together and show you just how remarkable Sarah's journey truly was. As Michael accepted his diploma, the principal made an announcement that left the entire auditorium in stunned silence. What was this announcement? And how did it relate to Sarah's past? The answer will amaze you, but you'll have to wait just a moment longer to find out. Now it's time to reveal the final piece of the puzzle, the crucial detail that makes Sarah's story truly extraordinary. As the principal announced Michael as the valedictorian, he shared something else. Sarah, the woman everyone knew as the hard-working single mother who put herself through college, was about to join the school's faculty as their newest teacher. You see, Sarah's journey had come full circle. The young girl who once dreamed of being a teacher had not only achieved her goal but had done so while overcoming incredible odds. The promise she made to Michael all those years ago, to never give up, had led her to this moment, standing on the same stage where her son was graduating, ready to inspire a new generation of students. The auditorium erupted in applause as Sarah joined Michael on stage. Mother and son, both in caps and gowns, embraced as tears of joy streamed down their faces. It was a moment of triumph, a testament to the power of perseverance, love, and the unbreakable bond between a mother and her child. Sarah's story teaches us that it's never too late to chase your dreams, that obstacles can become stepping stones, and that with determination and hard work, we can rewrite our own stories. It reminds us that education is a powerful tool for change, not just for ourselves but for those around us. It reminds us that education is a powerful tool for change, not just for ourselves but for those around us. As we conclude this incredible journey, I want to ask you, what dreams have you put on hold? What obstacles are holding you back? Remember Sarah's story and let it inspire you to take that first step towards your own goals, no matter how impossible they may seem. If this story has touched you, please take a moment to like this video and share it with someone who needs inspiration. Your support helps us continue to bring these powerful stories to light. Don't forget to subscribe to TrueSpark for more incredible tales of triumph and perseverance. And finally, we want to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever overcome seemingly insurmountable odds? Or perhaps you're at the beginning of your own journey of transformation. Your story could be the inspiration someone else needs to hear. Remember, every great story starts with a single step. What will yours be?